we get another amazing chapter in this Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen rivalry, as they are the last game in the divisional round this playoff season. So it's going to be an amazing matchup. It's going to be about 20 degrees come kickoff time in Buffalo. Potentially no snow. So it's going to be a nice, warm, weathery day over there in Buffalo for all the fans who will be outside attending. So it's going to be a phenomenal game. Be first time Patrick Mahomes, first road playoff game, I think, actually, for Patrick Mahomes, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be fun. Ryan and I, we're going to break down the game, give our picks. But before we get into that, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. We have a bunch of offseason content coming out as the NFL draft is just a couple months away, including 3-round and 7-round mock drafts, multiple of those for both the Chiefs and the Bills and the rest of the NFL teams. So if you want to see those and follow kind of our progress, give our thoughts on who we think the Chiefs and Bills should draft, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Ryan, throw it over to you here. This game, it's not going to be – I don't think it's going to be the offensive explosion that we're used to seeing from both of these teams in the past. It's going to be a lot of running, which is something we're not used to for both of these teams. And I would say some actually decently solid defense, which I feel like isn't the normal Mahomes, Josh Allen type of game.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I do think there will be good defense played by the Chiefs. I still don't think the Bills' defense is really that great. Just they're so injured. It's really hard for them to –
My only pushback to that comment, and not to interrupt you there, is they've been so injured all season, and they've still.
I agree.
They still had good performances overall. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think if they go against good offensive talent, especially the likes of Mahomes. Granted, these receivers for the Chiefs have been absolutely atrocious this year. I just don't think this defense is that like it's not as good as the Chiefs. In my unprofessional opinion. So, yeah, but with that being said, the Bills, to me, since the firing of Joe Brady, have had like this offense, I think, has really taken a turn for the better. They've been
now, Joe Brady's their current. I think you mean Ken Dorsey.
Or Ken Dorsey. I apologize.
Yeah, Joe Brady's one.
Since the firing of Ken Dorsey, this offense has taken a big turn for the better. And they looked really good. They looked good. They put up 31 points in a snow and wind storm against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's, to be fair, missing TJ Watt and just overall hasn't been a great defense this year. But still, like it was an impressive performance. You can really see Stephon Diggs, Dalton Kincaid, Khalil Shakir doing a great job of spreading the ball around. And then James Cook, I guess they listen to this channel because we have been begging for them for the last 2 seasons to just hand the ball off to James Cook more. And
not just James Cook.
Well, not just James Cook, anybody. And have a traditional running game. And to me, that really keeps defenses honest. And now, since they invested in that offensive line with Osiris Torrance and other pieces, they've been successful, which is the main thing. And they've had a running game outside of Josh Allen. And that, for me, I think has just been huge for them in having that consistency there with the running game. And on the flip side, the Chiefs have run the ball well, but I know they have Patrick Mahomes, but realistically, like their passing stats have been relatively pedestrian just because like their pass catchers as a whole have not been very good this year. Kadarius Toney, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I mean, they need an upgrade from those 2 guys. Those guys are dropping footballs left and right. Travis Kelce, I know there's not the skill position players around him to really let him be as effective as he once was, but I really think you can see it this season. I know he's been dealing with some nagging injuries, but he's slowed down. He's 35. That is okay for him to have slowed down. But he's still one of the best tight ends in the league. He's not that coverage mover and space creator that he once was in the NFL. And outside of that, their only consistent offense has really been through Isaiah Pacheco and this running game. So,
well, and I think one thing, the emergence, I think Rashee Rice, looking at it, I think he's going to be a hit. I think him and Patrick Mahomes have connected well. And so I think hopefully, because I think it's one thing that's helped out Travis Kelce a lot is he had Tyreek Hill or he had those guys and they had a good offensive scheme to where it really was kind of pick your poison, so to say. It's like, do we want Travis Kelce to to beat us for 150 yards, or maybe dilute that 150 yards to other receivers and try and contain them there. This year, they haven't had that type of receiver play outside of Rashee Rice, who's come on strong, had a great performance, one of the best, I think, rookie performances in a game. I think actually until Puka Nacua just broke it. But I will say the Chiefs, what has been fascinating about the Chiefs season just has been how well the defense has played. If the defense was the defense from last year, I don't think they make the playoffs, to be completely honest, just if this offense had the similar type of performance. They're going to have to find another level, I think, against this Bills defense, and I will counter your point. I think the Bills defense is pretty good. They've only given up over 30 points in a game one time, and that was against the Philadelphia Eagles in that crazy 37 game where I think Jake Elliott had to hit like a 59-yarder in the rain to send it to overtime to get to 31 all. They are fourth overall in points allowed so far this season. And then I think the thing to me that's impressive, actually, I think is, and I'll add on another set as well to help with this, because I think they're banged up in the secondary. But what's been impressive to me, though, is they're seventh overall in passing yards allowed. I'm going to look up how many passing touchdowns that they've had. They've only given up 18 passing touchdowns so far this year, which is tied for second. And I think what's helped them out a lot with that has been the fact that they have their fourth overall in total sacks. They have 54 sacks on the year, just 6 behind the Baltimore Ravens. And actually, just talking about it, Kansas City Chiefs have 57. They're second overall in sacks allowed. So I think that has been what has helped out this Bills defense deal with all these injuries and how they've been banged up. And I think in that performance overall, this defensive front led by Gregory Rousseau and let me even look up, see who some of their top sacks.
Von Miller, Ed Oliver.
It's not Von Miller. Leonard Floyd has 10.5 sacks. Ed Oliver, as you just mentioned, there 9.5 sacks. Terrell Bernard, AJ.
He got hurt today, sadly.
I saw. Was he the guy carted off? He was the guy carted off. Okay.
Yeah.
AJ. I almost said Empanada. And so that would be, I'm hungry now all of a sudden.
AJ Empanada.
But then Gregory Rousseau also. So they have a lot of good weapons there, and they just kind of put them on cycle, just keep getting them after the pass rusher. Von Miller, who you just mentioned, who had a big game today as well. So hopefully the Bernard injury, he had an air cast on, so it looks serious. So I'm going to guess that he's not going to play. Mm-hmm. But we'll have to see how that kind of affects overall. But I think that's helped with a lot of their secondary injuries, but still you have Jordan Poyer in the backfield, who's one of their best, who's one of the best secondaries in the league. And on top, what did I say?
Secondaries.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. But that type of defense, which is funny now, and now with the way that they're running the ball, it's finally the Buffalo team, I feel, that fits the area of Buffalo and how they have to go and kind of win these games in these cold weathers. I feel like before, from the past couple of years, is what we've talked about. Really, this entire channel has been like they've been like a Miami team. Like they want to high flying, they want to just throw all over, they want to sweat and just beat speed. And but now though, it's like if it's a cold wintry game, like all right, fine, we'll line up behind Osiris Torrance, Connor McGovern, Spencer Brown, and Deion Dawkins, and we're just going to run it right down your throat, just like how they did to Dallas. And then at the same time, I think with the emergence of Khalil Shakur, Dalton Kincaid has been a great pick. Dawson Knox has come back and has really helped out. Mm-hmm. They kind of almost have this type of offense that they can have Gabe Davis on not Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakur on rotate. But they have Stephon Diggs on one side, Gabe Davis on the other, Dalton Kincaid in the slot, Dawson Knox lining up as the inline tight end. And you have James Cook in the backfield. Pick your poison. I really like all those guys. Like they've all had great seasons. Gabe Davis, I think, is one of the team leaders. He might not beat you. He might not burn you on the stats overall, but he's even received game ball just because he was one of the best blockers in the game. I forget which game that was, but he didn't even have a catch or a single yard, but he did so well in blocking downfield. His offense as a whole, this is like the first time I feel like I'm saying about this Bills team, like we knew they could do it, but there's finally that full offensive team, not offensive, just the full team, even including the defensive play, that potentially this could be the year. Now they have to get over their hump. This is like when you go back and watch those documentaries of those dynasties. Like I just watched The Last Dance. Jordan and the Bulls need to get over the Pistons. Need to get over Isaiah Thomas. They've beaten Patrick Mahomes in the regular season, but when it counted, they haven't beaten them yet. That's going to be the question overall. Like, are they ready for this moment? I guess let's get into predictions because I was about to just say my pick. But before we do that, I'll throw it over to you, Ryan. But be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. Ryan, who do you have winning this game?
So I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. I do think they're the hotter team right now. And I think you look at Kansas City's struggles throughout the year and like they just never really got better. Whereas there was a stretch of like 6 or 7 games where we were like, ooh, the Buffalo Bills are not good. And then now you look at what they did at the end of the season to really even come in. They had to win 5 straight to win the division. And then like, so they've been in playoff mode for a good bit of time. And I just really like what they bring to the table. And in a cold weather game, I think they'll be able to out physical Kansas City. And I know that defense is statistically that good. I still just don't think that this defense for Buffalo is top tier. I know they've been injured all year. They're too injured, in my opinion, to really be like super effective. And I get that they have a lot of the stats. It's just I think in and out of each down, I think that they're giving up more than what the stats would show.
I understand that, and I will say to your point, they are an average running team, so that they could be an area that they want to improve on. But yeah, in general, though, I think, considering all the injuries, I would say their team and who's their defensive coordinator here doesn't seem to say. Actually, is there a defensive coordinator?
It's Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott runs the defense.
Duh. Okay. Yeah. And so, yep, that's it now. I think he's done a phenomenal job, all things considered. So I think that was one of the things, as you mentioned, on just the injuries, and we're seeing when who was the guy when Matt Milano went down, then when Tre'Davious White went down, then they've had other guys that have gone down just through nagging injuries throughout the season. Yeah. They're still able to find a way. When Von Miller had his stuff off the field issues, like they were still able to grind through that. And their last loss was that Philadelphia Eagles game. And to be honest, they should have won that game. I think was that the Eagles' last win. Also?
Yeah.
So, but
they went. Because I put them to 11-1.
No, that's not true. They did beat the Giants actually. In a 0-0 game, the Eagles did not a 0-0 game, but in week 16 on Christmas. But I digress. I'm also going to go with the Bills here. I think this is the best Bills team that I've seen in a long time. Maybe actually even in my lifetime. I'm 28, definitely in your lifetime as a Patriots fan. I think that they're going to do it here. I think they're going to get over the hump against Patrick Mahomes. I think it's going to be a cold day. I'm not going to buy into this stuff. How it's Patrick Mahomes' first road game. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks that we've ever seen play. He's with one of the greatest coaches in Andy Reid, who's been in a lot of road playoff games. I think they're going to be fully prepared. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game, and honestly, a phenomenal divisional round weekend. A weekend we all need, because wild card weekend frankly kind of sucked. There were some pretty boring games going on outside of the Lions game. So I think this game is going to be phenomenal. I think Josh Allen's going to win it. I think he's going to have I think he's going to have his moment. I think he's going to lead. It's going to be tied, but he's going to lead a touchdown winning drive to end the game. 27-20.
Nice. I'll go. I don't think it'll be that close. I'm going to go 31-20.
Okay.
I think it'll be a 2-score game. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. We are both taking the Bills in this matchup. Again, if you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Tyler and I are trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the season, by the postseason. So if you could help us reach that goal, we would be very appreciative. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you have coming out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Kansas City Chiefs? Will it be the Buffalo Bills? Other than that, we will see you guys next time.